Alright guys, we are back for another Preparing for Dokkan Battlefield here. Your boy still has hundreds, thousands even, of units that I have to Dokkan Awaken and get myself prepared. Not only to get my STR Gohan Dokkan Awakened all the way to LR, but you know, your boy needs to fill out his box with all these LRs, so I'm gonna need Ginyu. Gonna need LR Ginyu, so I'm going to need to be well prepared. So let's get right into it. So the first unit I do want to touch on is this Goten right here, who I feel is very, very underrated. Of the three family Kamehameha units, I think Goten is easily the best. They all, I did talk about this before, but they all are hurt by the fact that they do not have prepared for battle. None of the three actually have prepared for battle, which hurts so much because all three of the units, Goku and Goten are strength, so they would be on mono strength, and then the Gohan is AGL, so be on mono AGL. Now, mono AGL, if he had shocking speed, that would help, but prepared for battle is just so dominant on both of those teams that it's just kind of like if they just had prepared for battle, that would really help, especially with this Goten here. So this Goten is Furious Kamehameha Super Saiyan Goten Kid. Leader skill is attack 7% for every key sphere obtained. So I guess you could do kind of like a booty nuking team with this, but nuking is dead. I never did like nuking ever. Like a lot of people really like nuking, and it's like I never ever liked nuking. Even like I have Super Saiyan 3 Broly. Nuking fucking sucks nowadays. I just hate to break it to y'all, but with these bosses that have 500 phases, it's just nuking does not work. Nuking is a relic from back in the day when those bosses had one phase and that's it. So moving on, his super attack is the family Kamehameha, of course, and does supreme damage to the enemy, which is fine. His passive skill is Disable Rampage, and changes physical key to rainbow key and gives himself attack 30%. So he's good in the Broly fight. He changes a colored orb to a rainbow, which of course is the best type of orb changer. I've been saying this forever. I know my man D Free always preaches this, and he is correct. If y'all don't want to listen to me, that's fine. But listen to D Free. D Free will tell y'all that the changing a solid color, you know, green, red, blue, whatever, to rainbow is the best because that will open up multiple paths for your units to get maximum key. Very good. Giving himself attack 30% is a nice little bonus here, but just orb changers can always be used. Like, you can always get value from orb changers like that because you're always going to need key for a lot of units, especially if you want to run like wonky units on your teams. Then something like this is something that you would badly need. Now, looking at his links, he does have Blazing Battle, Golden Warrior, Saiyan Warrior Race, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, and Shattering Limit. So at the very least, he does have a few very common links on Mono STR, Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, I believe Saiyan Warrior Race as well. Let me just take a quick look at this link and see who Mono Strength has this. So there's the Gotenks, Fasha, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Okay, so a few units have it, but none of the mainstays that you're really going to be, you know, paying money to see, basically. All in all, though, orb changers like this are very valuable to always have. So, you know, this guy is definitely a unit you could slide onto your team and have no trouble doing that whatsoever. So moving on to our next unit, we are actually going to take a look at this Gohan. This motherfucker, I hate this unit so bad. And he's actually solid. Like, he's actually useful. He's a solid unit you can get a lot of love out of. You could toss him onto an INT Gogeta team and be fine with that, because he does have a lot of common links and stuff. But this guy was featured on the LR Broly banner when it debuted on Global, and a lot of y'all may know, you know, I went 2,000 stones plus, did not pull Broly. I pulled 500 of these fucking Gohans. I pulled 1,000,000 each of all the family Kamehameha units, so I do have a little bit of negative stigma attached to them. This Gohan in particular, I pulled him so many times, I just cannot stand him, even though he's solid. I'm probably gonna pretty soon like make a couple of videos showcasing a couple of these 120% teams, because I'm actually starting to awaken a bunch of the key pieces of these teams where I can actually run them. And, you know, this Gohan I might actually toss on there, you know, if not for him to actually, like, you know, do good, but just for shits and giggles. So, first thing I want to talk about with this unit before we even go over anything about him is his gi. Notice how his wristbands, his belt, and then the little, I don't know, his socks or whatever you want to call it, are all yellow. This is actually because, like, originally, I guess colors sometimes in Dragon Ball are a little wonky, because Toriyama, like, made the manga and never kind of thought as to what colors a lot of these characters would have, which has led to some inconsistencies, in particular, like Bulma's hair color, Trunks' hair color, and then this adult Gohan, in the show, his belt and stuff are all red, and it is like that in the second Broly movie as well, but I believe this is like the colored manga has Gohan with the yellow. Most of the Dokkan arts are coming more from the manga side than they are from the actual show, but obviously something like Dragon Ball Super, you know, that's like an anime first, and I can't think of a unit coming from the Dragon Ball Super manga. I'm sure we're going to get it eventually. We'll get a unit that's like has like their manga art. In particular, we might see like Super Saiyan Goku Black, or maybe the iconic manga shot of Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black that we saw on the title screen of Dokkan for so long. I definitely could see that coming up at some point in the future, hopefully. But a majority of the Dokkan arts are actually from the manga, just in case you guys didn't know. Leader skill is all types attack 30%. Also, this guy is called Blast of Fury Super Saiyan Gohan Teen. Okay, very good. Leader skill trash, all types attack 30%. That is, like, that would have been good, like, in the game's, like, real early days. Like, the first couple months of its existence, that's when this guy would have been good. For his leader skill, anyway. Super attack is the Super Kamehameha. Supreme damage to enemy. His passive skill is the feelings back. That's funny because you could almost change it to the feeling in his back, like the tingly feeling. No. Passive skill, the feelings back. Attack 90% when performing a super attack, which is good. Obviously, I believe I had it explained to me that these passives are better when it applies at performing a super attack, because this is going to then calculate damage after, like, links are involved and everything. So when it's calculated at performing a super attack, that is when the units will hit the hardest. So that's pretty good right there. And 90% is very solid. Like, seriously, this guy, if you've got him at, like, SA10, this guy will hit hard. Like, attack 90% is no fucking joke. Especially for such a common unit who, I mean, at least, I've pulled this guy, like, seriously, no bullshit. I think I've pulled this guy between both versions, like, 8 times. So, I mean, he's a very common unit, and he's pretty good for someone so common. His links are Golden Warrior, Z Fighters, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, Saiyan Lineage, and Shattering the Limit. You know, he does have, like, Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, which will be useful on Mono Int. Kamehameha, I believe the only unit he's going to share with that on Mono Int, well, there's a couple. Yeah, okay. Obviously, LR Gohan, but there also is the Super Saiyan God Goku, the Armor Super Saiyan Goku, and then, of course, the Orb-changing Super Saiyan Goku. So, you might have a couple units you could share Kamehameha with on Mono Int. Okay, that's interesting. 12 key multiplier, ooh, 130%. Oh, no. That is a big red mark on this guy. But who knows, guys? Another thing also is that with the advent of these categories, a lot of units like this guy right here, like if they just did, let's say like a movie category, and they just arbitrarily decided that this Gohan is from the Broly movie, like you never know. A lot of like kind of forgotten units could be revived or revitalized with this category system. Moving forward, I do think it is a good thing. So another reason, I almost could call this series not only preparing for Dokkan Battlefield, but also preparing for the motherfucking category system, because when they just drop a movie, you know, a movie category leader, and this Gohan is like optimal, it's like, oh, well, good thing I Dokkan awakened him and raised his SA and did all that shit, because now he's good. So just a thought to think of in the future. Alright, so let's move on to our next unit here. Now, this guy actually Dokkan awakens twice. We're only going to do his first Dokkan Awakening right now, and then we're actually going to do his second Dokkan Awakening in the future. This guy is incredibly good, especially when you get to that second Dokkan Awakening to where he's a TUR. He's so good in beating LR Frieza. So this guy starts as Vegeta, and, you know, obviously I'm sure a lot of you guys can't read Japanese, but he is actually a super AGL type. He's a hero, but when you awaken him with all these medals from the baby events and turn him into baby Vegeta, he actually becomes an extreme unit, a villain unit. I believe this is the only unit in the game that does this as of right now. When they Dokkan Awaken, they go from a hero to a villain, or villain to a hero, vice versa, whichever one you want to pick. I believe this is the only one so far in the game that does actually do this. Now, this guy is not bad. Okay, when LR Frieza came out on Global, I did not run this guy because we'll go over exactly why. But I felt like his passive was not the most beneficiary use of units you can get on that squad, right? But when he Dokkan Awakens further into his TUR, he is an optimal unit when fighting the Strength LR Frieza stage. So this, of course, is Dreadful Fusion Baby Vegeta. Leader skill is all types, HP, and attack 15%, so that's fodder. Super attack is the Gallic Gun, which does extreme damage to enemy, alright? His passive skill is Surprise Offensive, which does attack and defense 3,500 when first attacker in turn. So here's why I wasn't a big fan of running this guy on the LR Frieza teams, is this attack and defense 35 up in the first slot was not that great, because I did not deem this guy good enough to be on a main rotation. And because this guy is not good enough to be on a main rotation, then that means his passive will be worthless, because you have to get him as the first attacker in order for that to even do anything. I am not a fan of these type of restrictions, because oftentimes that unit becomes shit because you can't use their passive. Like, they never give this passive to a good unit. Like, you know, if STR Ultimate Gohan had this type of restriction where he has to be the first attacker in a turn, that's fine, because he's like an upcoming Dokkan Fest unit who's going to be incredibly good. But when you just have like these fodder level units have this type of passive that's not the third slot, then they're almost throwaway units. There is one Super Saiyan 2 Goku who gets a buff for being in the third slot of the rotation, which does make him usable there, because that's exactly where you would have him. But like this guy being in the first slot, no, you're just not going to be doing that. And then when you look at his links, right? Thirst for Conquest, Metamorphosis, Coward, GT, Hatred of Saiyans, and the Saiyan lineage, you're going to get none of those on the teams required to fight LR Frieza. Another reason I decided not to use this guy when I was actually trying to get LR Frieza, even though a lot of people love this guy, when he Dokkan Awakens further, he gets way, way, way better. Just to quickly tell you guys, one of the big things that happens is his passive skill actually changes to just attack and defense 5,000 at the start of turn. So you don't even have to worry about getting him in any of the places. The other interesting thing, okay, yeah. For a second I was thinking, I was like, wait, he gains GT? No, he's got GT right here. But okay, so that covers him. Again, way better at the third form, where you actually would keep him on rotation. But this guy, not all the way there yet, but I do like what they did with him. You know, this is a unit that you start out with as an SR, you Z-Awaken to an SSR, Dokkan Awaken to an SSR, Z-Awaken to a UR, and then you could Dokkan Awaken him to a TUR. That's cool, and it does kind of really, like, fit in with, like, Baby constantly switching bodies and doing all that bullshit. Alright, so we'll knock out one more unit. Kind of a random selection of units today, but it's all good. I gotta get all these guys awakened eventually anyway. We're gonna do this King Vegeta right here. The Super Strike King Vegeta. Now, this guy is actually one of the better units you can run in terms of trying to get LR Goku. So, a lot of people should know now that the 4th stage is the best spot for you to go ahead and farm dupes of LR Goku. You want to get them from that 4th stage, which is physical. But, if you're going specifically for medals, you want to do that on the 3rd stage, where LR Goku is tech. So having an intelligence unit like this King Vegeta is ideal, and this King Vegeta back in the day, this guy was essential for getting LR Goku back when it was Super Strikes only. But now, you know, if you want to use him, you can. If you don't, it's fine. So this, of course, is Reign of the Warriors, King Vegeta. Leader skill is Intelligence and Physical type Ki +3, which was really, really good because, again, back in the day when I got LR Goku on Global, you could only use Super Strikes in the event, right? And the best units to use, like King Cold and Mecha Frieza Super Strikes, are really good. Like, especially King Cold, you could almost slide King Cold onto like a cooler 120% team, and like he actually can hold his own a little bit with how his links work and also with his passive. So you wanted to get those units on the team along with the intelligence units, obviously, since you were fighting a tech type unit. So this guy was one of the best leaders to run because he was powering up both intelligence and physical type units. His super is, of course, the Orga Blaster. That's just his purple energy attack, which does huge damage to enemy. But of course, like a lot of these Super Strike units, when you get them to Super Attack 15, they actually get an additional buff to their super attack, so that it actually basically is like extreme damage. Let's see, his passive is a gift for invasion, 4 Ki when HP is 80% or below. That's actually very good for the LR Goku event because you oftentimes will be, you know, running pretty low on Ki, especially with the team I've been running lately, where I've had the Super Saiyan Trunks, who doesn't give Ki but gives a bunch of stats. So all of my units are tanky, and I really don't even have to heal, but my health is slowly whittled down. So after a certain point, this King Vegeta is going to be giving himself this big boost in Ki. Very, very useful for that event. And then his links are Royal Lineage, Saiyan Warrior Race, Saiyan Pride, Bombardment, Blazing Battle, Thirst for Conquest, and Super Strike. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, it does make a lot of sense, but your boy King Vegeta does actually have Blazing Battle, which is the link to beat Broly. I guess that does make sense with how King Vegeta fucked Paragus and baby Broly over. But, you know, that's cool. That's whatever. Alright. So after this, that's basically it for our boy King Vegeta here. Pretty good. I would definitely recommend him as probably one of the better intelligence types you could run on, like, this LR Goku team. But, of course, his links... yeah, you're just not really going to get much value in his links. This unit is basically only to get LR Goku. You're never really going to run him like... I mean, you're not going to run him on an extreme intelligence Kid Buu team, but I don't know. I guess people could do whatever they want. But alright, that will cover it for the 4 units today. I will see you guys at a later date for another Preparing for Dokkan Battlefield series. There's still many units to cover, many units for us to awaken. Y'all take it easy and have a good day. Peace!